Welcome to the podcast where we speak truth, illuminate power, and fully embody who the fuck we are. This is the Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. We are all about spiritual evolution, spiritual growth, talking about the things that may be controversial, even some triggering concepts, but we are all about expansion. Come on in and join us as we reclaim and recenter ourselves in the power of who we really are. We are the Light Warriors, and welcome to the revolution.
Welcome back, everybody. Episode 111 of the Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. And it's been a while. I go deep into this in the beginning parts of the podcast about what this timeline has been moving through and how this is showing up in the world. But I'm just like, I'm back. I'm back. I don't know what that means today, but I'm back. And I dive into this episode on all different kinds of aspects of possibilities, of new beginnings, of rebirthing, of expansion, of allowing ourselves to actually live the life we desire to live. So I hit up tons of points that were just coming through hot to serve you in the 111th episode of the podcast. And if you actually go look up on Google the meaning of 111, like the spiritual meaning of 111, you have different avenues that this could mean. So I touch on a few of these inside of the space of the podcast today, just weaving them in because everything is possible for us. And I love that I'm back. I love that you're here. I love that you're listening. And I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of the energetic world that we get to play within. And I can't wait to serve you guys in this episode. So no further ado, episode 111 of the Light Warriors Unleashed podcast. Well, it has been a while. Let's just put it that way. You know, time is going by so quickly and I can't even believe, I don't even know. It's probably been like 6 weeks since I've recorded a podcast episode. And what's really funny is I went to this past weekend, the dogs ate my glasses on Saturday. Now, a couple things about Costa Rica. Contacts with astigmatisms take 8 weeks to get here. Okay. Glasses take 10 days in order for you to get lenses done. Okay. There is no quick fix. There is no lens crafters come on in and you get them in a day. There is you have to wait. So on Monday, this happened on Saturday. They're closed on Sundays. I went on Monday and all their internet was down and I couldn't pay for them. So I said, I'll come back tomorrow. Life ended up happening and I didn't get back there until Friday. So I was working all week without glasses and all the things. And it was actually a lot of fun because I really believe my eyes are healing and that I soon will not have to wear glasses or contacts or anything in the space of stuff. And I really believe that. So this was like another manifestation of this transpiring in my world. So on Friday, literally 2 days ago, I go there. I end up getting a box of contacts that isn't my right prescription, but will suffice for right now just to get me through. And the woman says, we should probably do an eye exam. And I said, well, I was just here a few months ago. And she said, actually, your appointment was in November of 2023. And I went, what? It's been that long since I had my eyes checked? And it's been that long since I recorded a podcast? Oh my gosh. And life just started happening, if we actually think about this and look back, it's like the timelines are changing and moving. And I was actually, so this is the 111th episode. And I wanted it to be juicy. I wanted it to be connected in a certain space. And what my intention was over these last few weeks of just feeling into this was to pause the podcast until January and move into the podcast episodes and stuff like that coming into January. I've got some guests lined up. I'm even doing a podcast interview next week. And then I was going to stack some stuff and really realign in January. But something transpired last week. I got a memo from the downloads that happen. I get it every week from the podcast platform that I use. And it was 169 downloads came in last week. I haven't promoted the podcast in 6 weeks. I haven't put up a new episode in that long. And I was like, there's a sign from the universe about not releasing this. So I don't know where I'm going to weave some of these guest episodes in. I may not launch them till the new year, but I may sporadically finish off this year with a few more episodes to kind of trickle into the space of stuff. But I was literally going to move through a certain energy today with the completion of 111 in that energetic form. But 111, when you actually look it up and you look at it, the spiritual meaning of 111, the first thing that comes up from your AI searching online energy on Google is new beginnings. And I went, oh my God, This makes so much sense because I am literally just been dismantling a whole new layer over the last month in my world. And it's been potent and realizing and so expansive that it's literally fueling the next phase of my evolution. It's fueling the next movement in my life. And I am like all in it. One of my girlfriends sent me a message. I haven't heard from you in like a week. Are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm so fucking good. I am like knee deep in my stuff. I'm knee deep in the triggers that are happening for me, and I'm seeing that in them that way. I am so centered in the work I'm doing in the movement of the world. I'm also on day 45 of 75 hard, which is today's day 45. So dealing with that energy in my field, stepping up into the space to hold my Spanish lessons. I'm doing Spanish every single day because I desire to learn that and to be in that and to move with that and to talk in that. You know, Lily and I have been going on Lily, my dog, have been going on these extended walks every single day. And we're training with Clark. And so he's doing new things. And Tony's here, you know, and it's just like this whole space of like evolution. And I can feel it. You know, I'm committed to going to an event in December, and I'm going VIP. And I'm like, there's a whole energy moving through. And when I dropped in to serve you guys today on this podcast and to be with you today is I want to just breathe in possibility into your world. I want you to see this as a new beginning, as a personal growth, as a marker. Like some of you have been doing amazing stuff, I'm sure. And some of you have been shifting and changing, but some of you are still knee deep in circumstances and you're not realizing that you're creating the knee deep in your circumstances by you not choosing, by you not having the courage, by you not stepping up into the space, by you still buying into the old paradigm storylines that are playing out. You are creating the old paradigm storylines to play out. And that's the weave that we're working within. And that's the objective that we're working within. And that's literally the pathway that we're in. And it's taking focus. So what I've been noticing over the last few weeks that I've been knee deep in this is focused, intentional energy. How do I desire to shift this? What is the actual truth moving through? And how can I bring that truth into my body and literally start to accelerate it into the world? I literally today, I'm about to start this dance app. And like you can take any kind of dancing in it, like hip hop and everything, but I'm really feeling the calling to deepen this connection inside my body. It's not going to take away from my gym workouts. It's not going to take away from the yoga. It's not going to take away from my walks. It's not going to take away from my boxing. It's going to be an addition to. And it's like 15, 20 minutes of dance classes that you can take online. And I'm like, this feels aligned. I desire to incorporate this into my everyday world. And I have space in my calendar to do this because you know why? I choose to have space in my calendar to do this. I choose to bring this into my field. I'm making a conscious choice to make room to have and to hold and to be in this energy. Every single day, I'm going to be like, I choose this, just like I'm choosing 75 hard, just like I'm choosing the strategy I'm putting out next week in the business, just like I'm choosing November to be the highest potent growth expanded month of my business. That's why I'm choosing to be aligned in my body throughout the month of November and push my body in a certain way in a new dynamic this month. I am desiring to do a 4-day fast this month before I land in Salt Lake City in December. Like I am stacking the deck in growth and expansion in my world. And some of this shit's going to be fucking hard. And some of it I'm going to be tested on. And some of it I'm not going to want to do certain days. And I know. But if I can remember to stick into the plan and to stick into the energy and to be with it and to move with it, and not that it's going to be rigid for me, because as you guys know, if you've been listening to this podcast, I don't do rigidity. I can't. I rebel against the system all the fucking time. All the time I rebel against the systems. So it's like, how can I find a flow in my space? So I have executables that need to be worked on every day. Like I have to do certain things for 75 hard. I have the same game plan for business. What's launching today? What's moving through? What emails? And I am actually even going to go to the nth degree today to set myself up for this week. And I'm going to watch this flow move through my field. I'm going to maneuver with it. I'm going to allow myself to drop in. I'm going to be in this juicified energy, moving it through and aligning it in the space of everything. And I desire to feel this, to move with it, to heal it, to get out of the stuff that's been circulating in my field for a long period of time. And the why that it was circulating or the how that it was circulating in my field was because I kept playing out the storylines. And I would break them open here and there, right? To get movement forward, to shift some stuff. But embedded at the depth of it, I didn't do the work to get to the depths of what that means. And now I'm doing the work. I'm stopping, I'm closing my eyes, I'm dropping into my body, I'm changing the mechanism, I'm watching the thoughts that move through my mind. And I'm like, no, that's no longer relevant. Take a second, drop back in, change the energy. This is what we desire. 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 And it takes that at first, just like everything, just like how you condition your body, just like how you condition yourself to shift something, just like how you show up in your relationships, how you parent your kids, everything showing up for us right now in this new beginning energy. And if you go look at, I follow a woman on Instagram, and she's an amazing astrologer. She is super connected spiritually, and she weaves in the astrology, and she just gets it. She's a light warrior. She would be amazing on this podcast, which I definitely need to reach out to her, because I think it would be fucking an amazing podcast episode for you all to feel. Okay, yeah, definitely going to do that, and see if I can get her on the podcast. But she just made a post literally for the new moon. So today is November the 3rd. The new moon was on Friday, November the 1st, 2024. And what she spoke into of that, it's like we are literally in the Phoenix energy and dismantling the energetics around the mechanisms and matrices. And we've been playing in this field for a while, but it is potently coming up for those of us that are doing the work. And we're seeing it because we're dismantling more layers and more layers and more layers right now in the field. And some of us are fucking tired. But here's what I want to say to you. Do not pause this month. This is the month of acceleration. This is the month of literally tapping in and moving. Some of us are already in slow-mo where we're like, well, Christmas is coming soon in December and all the fucking things that we make up. Do not stop. Do not give in. Be in the space of your evolution. Choose self-trust. Choose self-confidence. Choose the positive perspectives in your world. I just did a training in the collective, which is my membership program, on potentiality, on the storylines we keep playing out that are blocking the potential we actually have in the world. Because when we play in old stories, we are blocking the possibility of what the actual divine and universe wants for us. Every single day of the week, this happens when you live in the past. Every single day of the week, we are shining brightly a light into the present moment of our world. And when we live here, then what we really desire to have will be the outcome always when we step into the space. But most of us are not in there. We're not in that framework. We're not moving through that energy. We're doubting the things. We're all the stuff that's showing up in the field of awareness. So I want to drop into your field today. What does it mean for you to move through new beginnings? What does it mean for you to step up into the space, to maneuver it forward, to be with it, to move with it, to step up into this energy? What does this mean? And how do you move this through an evolution? And how do you step up into the space to really be connected to it, to really move with it, and to actually start to trust yourself? Because this all comes down to trust. And we are being called forward so deeply into this space because the duality is thickened. And those of us that are living in the doubt, and those of us that are over here in the space and doing the same things we used to do and thinking that things have changed and they haven't changed, we're in it, deeply in it. So I want to ask you today, what does this mean for you? I just was on a podcast interview, live. We did it through StreamYard. So they take that asset, put it onto podcast, but they also did it live. So it's on my Facebook page. And we were talking about soul purpose, but I got ready today and something dropped in as we clicked off. It's like, you should record your podcast now. And I went, okay, because I've been thinking about this all week. It's been on my list all week to get this episode out, and it will launch tomorrow, Monday. And I will get it into the field, and I'll be back in a flow, whatever that means for me to close out 2024. But I'm like, we are knee deep. We are knee deep in beautiful things too, right? I'm not saying in the shitstorm, but some of you might resonate there, but knee deep in this available possibility. And it's it's right here. It's moving through us. It's moving in us. It's like this energy's building. I've got some stuff to speak into that's been happening with me over the space of these past few weeks, which I will do it in future episodes. because there's so much to unravel and so much learning that's moved through that I desire to speak into, because some of you may be able to take something from it. Some of you might be like, that fucking makes so much sense for me. And that feels like so much of whatever's going through my mind. So I just want to step in here for you today in a very quick, short episode to say I'm back, to say I've been floating in my own timelines, doing my own healing work, doing my own like fucking personal responsibility, shit's hit the fan, dark night of the soul 500 million times over the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 5 months, a year, 18 months, really. Since August of 2023, it's been building. And that was the month that I got broken into and changed like locations. And from there, it's been like, wow. And I'm about to break everything open this month of November. And I breathe into that because it's not just about me. The impact and imprint in the world that I get to create through my light will serve so many other people too. And this is the space that we're in. This is how we're moving forward. This is how we're maneuvering it. This is how it's showing up in the world. And I just really desire you to feel into this, to be like, what is possible for me? And what new beginnings am I calling in? And how am I showing up in this space now? And what is the work that's been calling me forward? What is necessary for you now? How does this move? How does this feel? How does this align? So that's all I had to say today, I think. One of the things that's coming through the field, depending on when you hear this, I'm launching a summit this month at the end of the month. And I'm currently just vetting out some speakers to get everything aligned. It'll be a really juicy flow, but it's called the Expansion Evolution, and how we're stepping into this space and how we're moving through this energy and what this means and all the things in the collective and how this is. And I desire to lead the world in a very potent, expanded way. So if you hear this before then, and you desire to be a part of that and to come and listen in, it's a 4-day summit at the end of November. It starts on the 27th of November. Just send me a message. I'll get you the link, because the link's not active yet, but in the show notes, like, it won't be active, but just send me a DM, and or else get on my mailing list, do something, and then we'll get you access to that. But we are at a point in time that we get to choose how we show up. We get to choose how this moves through the field. We get to choose how we step into this. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful expanded time as we maneuver through. So I love you guys. I appreciate you being here. All of you that are new to the podcast, welcome. Those of you who've been here a while, thanks for sticking around. And I will see you guys all in the next episode. Bye for now.
Well, we know that you like the podcast potentially because you're still here listening to this actual audio at this moment of time. So all that we're going to ask is, can you please just help us share it out? Tag some friends, share it with a friend, help us spread the word, because each of us moving through together as we collaborate, as we move within this light warrior movement, helps each of us illuminate in lights. And we're just so grateful. I'm so grateful. The guests are always so grateful too, that you help us spread the word, that you help us really step into this space to be able to own all of our pathway. And we are just so grateful to have you here. And thank you again for listening.